What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Ready or Not video. In this video, we're going to be going over a simple guide on how to install Ready or Not modifications for those of you that may be struggling with this, or maybe you just want a video to kind of guide you on how to do this, since we don't have the availability of the workshop just yet, but it will be coming eventually. We don't know, but as of right now, this is how we're going to have to install modifications. So if you travel over to the nexusmods.com/readyornot website, you can download modifications from there, or you can simply join the Ready or Mod Discord, where there's other modifications, which you may find pretty much the same ones from either one. I believe there might be some modifications on Nexus that you may not find on the Ready or Mod Discord, and vice versa. So I've already got a modification pulled out here, and I use this modification in my mod pack, and I've got a lot of mods that I'm running. This one in particular is the Ops Core. It has the option to have goggles on the top of the helmet and the option without goggles. What you're going to do is you're going to go over to manual download. For a lot of these modifications, it'll just come up with a screen. But for some of them, it has a couple different options, like I said before. So we'll go ahead and download the non-goggles version. This is going to come up with a screen. It's going to tell you if you want to do a slow download or a fast download. If you don't have premium, you can only do slow. So we're going to click on slow, and it's going to have a countdown timer here, and we're just going to wait for that to begin downloading. I already have it downloaded. However, we're going to go ahead and bring that up. You do need to have some type of program that can open zip files in order to unpack that zip, so I'd recommend maybe WinRAR or another program. Some people don't recommend WinRAR, however, whatever works for you. So now that we have that WinRAR file open here, we can see it's got this packchunk 99-mods underscore bet ops. I guess it's supposed to be no goggles underscore p.pack. So it's always going to be a .pak file there at the end. So we're going to go ahead and transition out of this. We're going to bring up our Steam here, Steam library. We're going to deviate over to Ready or Not. We're going to right click Ready or Not and go to Properties. This is going to bring up a little window here. We're going to go down to Local Files, Browse Local Files. This is going to bring up your Steam library, Steam Apps, Common, Ready or Not folder. You're going to go ahead and double click Ready or Not, then Content and Packs. So let's go ahead and bring that that packed file up here. So we've got the packchunk 99 file here, .pack, that we have for the Ops Core helmet. And what you're going to do is you're just going to go ahead and drag that over into your mods folder. And for me, it's going to ask me to replace it because I already have it installed. For you, it's not going to ask you anything. It's just going to go in there. So I'm not going to replace it, but that's basically what you do. You just drag it in. You do need to keep in mind, let's say, for example, you're downloading a lot of mods. I would be careful because some modifications might replace like the same weapon or some item, and they might not be compatible. And you got to be careful with that if you're downloading a large amount of mods at the same time. I would maybe download 2 or 3 at a time, or maybe 1 at a time, and then launch the game and make sure everything's okay. Now, for example, if you launch your game and it pops up and says that there's a verification error or a corrupted file error, something like that along those lines, what you're gonna have to do is I'm gonna go ahead and close out of these for now. You're gonna right click your Ready or Not, go to Properties, go to Local Files, and you can verify integrity of game files. What that's going to do is it's going to go through and pretty much find any files that doesn't belong in your game. So any of the modification files will be removed. If there's anything else that was corrupted, it's going to go ahead and fix that. If that doesn't fix your game, I would recommend doing a complete uninstall. And the way that you would do that, you would just go Ready or Not, Manage, and then uninstall right here. Now, obviously, you don't need to do this every single time you get a corrupted file. What I normally do, just to kind of, so I don't have to lose everything and install all my mods one by one, is I basically go back to where we were. So Steam Apps, Common, Ready or Not, Content, Packs. And if I believe something is conflicting, I will find it. So let's say, for example, the HK416 modification I have is conflicting with another weapon, right? So I would right click, I would remove that file, and I would paste it somewhere else. For example, I have a backup folder on my desktop, and I would launch the game and then see if that works without that modification, or you can just move the file somewhere else and see if that works. I also like to back up my modifications, which we'll go over some more, especially for tampering with other game files. So have a backup folder on your desktop or somewhere that you can easily locate it. But moving on to something that may be a little bit more advanced for some of you guys, and this is installing voice mods. So maybe you want some type of overhaul, maybe you don't like the way that the SWAT voice lines sound, and maybe you want to go back to the original SWAT 4 voice and have that be like an overhaul, right? So I've got this modification here which replaces the original Ready or Not SWAT team with the SWAT 4 voices. Now obviously I do use an iteration of this in my game, however I don't override everything. It's just the SWAT officers. I don't override any of the civilians or any of the suspects in my game, and I can show you how you can specifically do that. Okay, so if you look down here, I actually didn't notice this because this is not the one that I downloaded before, but we've got civilian voice lines, element voice lines, suspect voice lines, team lead, and then we got main menu, and I guess that's an older file that they use, whatever. You can pretty much pick and choose. Let's just do the element. We want the entire element. We're going to go to manual download. It's going to bring up a screen like before. We're going to do slow download unless you have premium. Okay, so now that's done downloading. I'm going to go ahead and bring that up. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of the website because we don't need that open anymore. Move this off to the side. As you can see here, we do have all these files or folders that will be we're about to be replacing in a location. I'm going to show you that right now. So we're going to right click Ready or Not. We're going to go to Properties, Local Files, Browse, and we're going to go over to pretty much the same place as before. Steam Libraries, Steam Apps, Common, Ready or Not, Content, and then instead of going to packs, we're going to go down to a folder called the VO, which is short for voiceovers. We're going to open that up and we can see all the voiceovers here that are currently within the game files. We're going to bring that zipped file back up. What I normally do, and like I said, I recommend having a backup folder, is we got Swan, we got Prescott, King, and Eli. So if you look through here, we've got all of these ones that match the exact same layout. It's the exact same folders. If I move these in here now, I'm going to replace. It's going to change all of those to the voice lines that we want, but we're going to lose the original files, and the only way to get that back if we want them back again is to verify files or to back them up. So what we're going to do is, if you have your backup folder, I would open that up and we're going to select the Swan folder, the Prescott folder, the King folder, and the Eli folder. So for whatever reason it doesn't have Judge in here, so maybe you'd have to go back and download the Judge one as well. I don't know why that wouldn't just be in one big file. That's actually really strange they do it that way. So we don't have Judge here, so Judge is not going to be replaced. So if you want Judge to be replaced, you got to go and download other files. So I apologize, I didn't know that wasn't included in here. That's very strange. But either way, so these are the ones we need to back up. So we're going to right click and we're going to go down to cut, and we're going to cut I'm not going to do it because I already have mine set up, but we're going to cut this and then we're going to paste it into our backup folder so we have those for later in case we want to swap back. Because like I said, if you don't like it and you want to swap back, it's going to be difficult. You're going to have to verify your games, and then you're going to have to go back and reinstall all your mods, and you don't want to have to do that. Or we can highlight Eli, King, Prescott, and Swan again, and then we can right click and we can go down to rename, and that'll rename and add at the end or in the beginning, and we can change it to old_SWAT Eli, SWAT King, SWAT Prescott, SWAT Swan. And that will basically make it so it's not recognized by the game, and if we want to revert back, we can delete the files that we bring over, the folders that we bring over, and then we can rename those ones that we just renamed, and it'll be live again in our folder. Hopefully I explained that pretty well. If you have any questions about that, feel free to ask me down in the comments, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Alright, and the last thing we're going to go over, and this is actually a little bit more simple than it used to be, but there are some other modifications out there that alter the AI that do require further, I guess, tampering with the files, or however you want to call it, right? because there was a program called BMS that you had to use back in the day in order to make sure that the file size was identical so you wouldn't corrupt your game when modifying the configs for the AI. However, with a modification like improved gameplay, you can easily swap this in and out without causing any issues. So with AI modifications, I would recommend using something like this that just replaces or adds a pack file into your modification folder. So same thing as before, we would go to manual, we would do a slow download. We've got improved gameplay, we got that brought up right here in this zipped folder. We'll go back and bring up our game. So same thing as before, ready or not, content, packs. You just drag that over and that's going to go ahead and implement that modification into your game files. Now there are some other modifications out there that used to be present within the community. I don't know if they're still out there, to be honest with you, but there was an AI mod by Kronsky, and that will replace the Windows No Editor pack. Now you just got to make sure you back this up. It should be safe, but back it up just in case, because if you don't want that AI mod anymore, you're gonna have to verify your game files. But there are some files, mods that will want to replace this instead, and like I said before, there might be a mod out there that will want you to use BMS. I would highly recommend just trying to work around using BMS, because you can break things within your games and it can just be a headache. So I would stay away from that. I'd either go for something that's just going to add a pack file like improved gameplay, or if you have to, just do the Windows No Editors. Just make sure you back it up. Anyway guys, that's going to be the end of this video. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was better than the last one. I really do apologize with that last video. It definitely wasn't my intention to, I guess, promote such a fraudulent website. Either way though, I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys for sticking to the end of the video. Like I said, I hope this helped you a little bit, and I'll see you in the next one.